Hello students, this is our political science class of class 12th. Today I am going to start a new topic, that is US hegemony in the world politics. Today I will discuss how US has always showed the domination over other countries in the world. It has also shown that as if it is standing on some stage and other countries are just standing below that. Now first know what is the meaning of hegemony. Hegemony means the domination of one country over the other country, and it may be more than one country, it may be two countries, or maybe a group of countries. In NCERT book, some short stories have been given about Aisha, Jabu and Andre. What are the names? Aisha, Jabu and Andre. And in these stories, only the main and the important thing is that about three important cities. One is Baghdad, that is the capital of Iraq, and second is Durban, which is a very important city of South Africa. South Africa is a country in the African continent. And then next is Perth. Perth is the very important city in the Australian continent. Now let's first see it in the map. Children, you can see that here in the South African continent there is a city. This is Durban, that is this is Durban here, and then you can see here in the African continent there is a city like this is Perth. This is a Perth in the city. Then you can see in the world map, then the Baghdad. Then you can see here Baghdad is there, and this is the capital of Iraq. These cities have been mentioned due to some important reasons that in the later on in this topic we will discuss about the Durban also, Baghdad also and Perth also. That's why here it has been explained. Now I want to tell you about the Second World War, which I have told you in the previous chapter also, but here also I want to explain you the Second World War. Second World War started in 1939 and it continued till 1945. As we all know that US was not intending to enter the Second World War, but Japan invaded in the Pentagon, that is the naval space of the US, and that is the safest place. Here Japan invaded, and the result was that US had to enter in the Second World War, but it was continuing for a long period of time, so US thought that it should end the war, and he gave the logic that for the purpose of ending this Second World War, he had to bomb blast on the two places of Japan, that is Hiroshima and Nagasaki, in 6 and 9 August of 1945. But according to the critics, they say no, this was not the reason, because there might be some other ways to stop the war, but only due to show the dominance US had done this. And this is the views of the critics. So after the bomb blast on the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan surrendered. When Japan surrendered, then that was the end of the Cold War. It means the Axis powers were defeated. Means in the World War there were two powers. One was Allies powers and the second was Axis power. In Allies power, 4 countries were there. You can see USA was there, countries were there in the Second World War. 4 countries, not only 4 countries, but we can say that 4 countries from the Allies power, 4 countries were there, and in the Axis power 3 countries were there, means Germany, Japan and Italy. But in Second World War, Axis power were defeated, and who were the winner? The Allies power were winner. So in the world politics, the powerful or the popularity of the Germany, Japan and Italy, we can say the economic power or the political power which they were having before Second World War, that decreased after the Second World War. And here we can see about 2 countries, that is, one is Britain and the other is France. Britain and France, they were also having some conflicts in the European countries. The result was that Britain and France also lost their political power, we can say decreased the political power and economic power were decreased of Britain and France due to the continuous conflicts between from the European countries. Now only 2 powers were left. What were they? One was USA and the second was USSR. Now let's talk about USA and USSR. Now in the world politics, these 2 very powerful countries were left who were just dominating and showing the dominance, we can say, or so powerful in the world politics. One was USA and the other was USSR. USA was the country which was having a democratic form of government, and it was also promoting democracy in the world. And USSR was having communism, and it was promoting socialist form of government. Now what is communism? Communism means the form of government in which only one political party is allowed to exist, and though the elections are though the elections are held regularly, but whatever the candidates are contesting elections, they belong only from one political party, that is communism political party, that is communist political party, or maybe some small political party, but that are also the allies of the communist political party, and they are having only one ideology. Whatever ideology communist political party is having, all the candidates have to follow that. So in practice we see that elections are going to be held regularly, but in theory or when we study in deep, then we can find that there is a very less choice there for the people, because whatever the candidates will come, they will follow only one ideology, that is the ideology of the communist political party. And the second thing is that USSR is following socialism. In socialism, private entrepreneurs don't get the chance, for private ownership is very less, and very less freedom to own the private property. So these are the demerits of socialism. But USSR is following, and it is promoting, and it favors the countries which are having communism form or communist form of government, or are having socialist system or socialism, or we can say which the countries which are following the socialism. And whereas the USA is there, USA is having democratic form of government, it promotes democracy in the world, at the same time it follows the capitalism. Capitalism means the country which is having means it promotes private entrepreneurs to open the industries and to give chance to the people for the employment also. So it promotes democracy also, and it promotes capitalism also. So there was a Cold War between USA and USSR, because both were having diverse ideologies, and they were following that, they were promoting that, due to which there was a Cold War. Cold War means unfriendly relations, means in practice it is not showed, there is no war in practical, but they are not very good friends also, because they are not showing it, but they are not practicing good relationship with each other. So USSR and USA, there was a Cold War between these two countries, and it continued from 1945 to 1991. Why in 1991? Because in 1991 there was a disintegration of USSR. What was there? Disintegration. Disintegration of what? Disintegration of USSR. What was the reason for the disintegration? There we have read in the previous chapter. Here I can discuss only that there was a disintegration due to which 14 states, that is states, they got independent, they became independent nations. It means 14 states means Russia and 14 states. Okay? If we include Russia, then it will be 15 states. It means all the states got independent, they made their independent nations, and due to which the Cold War was finished, because USSR lost its political and economic power which it was having before 1991. The result was that now only one powerful country was there in the world politics, and that was USA. So USA became very powerful, and it was showing its dominance also in other countries or over the group of countries, which we will see. Children, now let's know about the first Gulf War, that is the invasion of Iraq upon Kuwait. Now what were the reasons that Iraq invaded on Kuwait? Now just see first on the map that these are the countries like Iraq and Saudi Arabia, Kuwait is there, and Iran is here, and they are very rich in the petroleum, that is a natural resource. And here that was a reason, and so many other reasons were also there for the Gulf War. And the president of Iraq was Saddam Hussein, and he ruled from 1979 to 2003, or that is 24 years on Iraq. Now just see कि there was a continuous war between Iraq and Iran. किसके बीच war था? Iraq and Iran के बीच there was a continuous war from 1980 to 1988, यानी during the period of 8 years. And during this war there was a big loss of Iraq, that is $100 million was the economic loss of Iraq, due to which the citizens of Iraq were very angry from the Saddam Hussein. So for making them happy and for making them understand, Saddam Hussein said that this loss is not due to the war, but he blamed Kuwait, and he gave two reasons for the loss of the economic loss of the Iraq. First reason was that Saddam Hussein blamed that Kuwait, which is a neighboring country, that he is taking out oil from the border of the Iraq. He said that some way or the other Kuwait has managed to take out the oil from the border of the Iraq, and Iraq and Kuwait is doing cross selling of the oil. The second blame which the Saddam Hussein blamed, the second reason was that Kuwait has exceeded the limit for extracting the petroleum. Means all the countries which are having or which are rich in petroleum, they also have a limit. They have also made some rule for the limit that how much extraction of the petroleum should be there in a particular time. And he blamed that he means Saddam Hussein blamed to Kuwait government that the government has exceeded its limit, due to which now there is a surplus supply of petroleum in the market, due to which the price has gone very low. Means whenever there will be supply will be much for any good, and then certainly the price will go down, because due to the surplus amount of goods of anything. So when there was a supply was much of petroleum, then that was the reason that price went very low, and the result was that Saddam Hussein said that he also had to sell the petroleum at a very low price, due to which there was an economic loss of the Iraq. You know that at that time also US was a very powerful country in the world, and during the war of Iraq and Iran, the US, which was the most powerful country in the world, it supported to Iraq, and the result was that Iraq started to blame Kuwait, and he said, and Saddam Hussein said कि the Kuwait should give some compensation, otherwise he will attack on Kuwait, and he asked for paid for the compensation, and he asked for $10 million to pay for as the compensation, but Kuwait did not pay 10 million, and he also started to do some meeting and some talks for negotiation, and then ultimately he agreed to pay $9 million. How much he agreed to pay? $9 million. Who? Kuwait just agreed to pay $9 million, and then now the question is, it may come in your mind that why Kuwait had to pay? If the war was going between Iraq and Iran, then why Kuwait will pay compensation for that loss? The reason was that when the war was going on between Iraq and Iran, then Kuwait had gave help to whom? To Iraq. To how much is the amount? For $40 million. How much? $40 million gave Kuwait to whom? Iraq. Why? For the help. And for the economic help, we can say. The reason was that Iraq got the help also, but when he felt that US is helping Iraq and US is the most powerful country at that time, then Saddam Hussein thought, and that now he did not want to return back whatever the financial help he got from the Kuwait, and the result was that he started to blame Kuwait that if it is not going to pay the compensation, then the Saddam Hussein will attack on Kuwait. So the Kuwait was ready to compensate for $9 million, though Saddam Hussein wanted that all the $14 million he should give for the compensation, because he did not want to return it back, whatever the help he got from the Kuwait during the war of Iraq and Iran. Now what happened? That Iraq invaded on Kuwait, and Iraq invaded on Kuwait on 2nd August, that is 2nd August 1990, and within 2 days it destroyed Kuwait, because Iraq was having the 4th largest army in the world, and Kuwait was a very small country and with a very small army. So it was very easy for Iraq to destroy Kuwait, and the result was that if the refugees, that is the people from Kuwait, they migrated to Saudi Arabia, and they came here as refugees. They took refuge in Saudi Arabia. The result was that the head of the Saudi Arabia, Kuwait went to the head of the Saudi Arabia, and the Saudi Arabia went to his godfather, that is USA. And the head of the Saudi Arabia, he went to the USA and he requested USA that he should, that USA Saudi Arabia did not want that the people from Kuwait should come here and should stay here and should take shelter in Saudi Arabia. Now here the question is, when the people from Kuwait came to Saudi Arabia and he went to ask for help to the US, then why the US will help Iraq? Why he will help Iraq? Because the reason was that, as I told you, that during the war of Iraq and Iran, he was helping. Who? America was helping to Iraq. Why he was helping? The reason was very simple and a very little reason, that Iran was supported by USSR. When Iran was supported by USSR, that is just opposite means in the ideology, then Iraq, then who will support Iraq? USA. Then USA thought that he should help Iraq because the Iran is helped by the USSR. Only because of that reason, when the head of the Saudi Arabia went to USA and he said that head of the Saudi Arabia, when he said to USA that the USA should make understand to the Iraq that because the people from the Kuwait, they are coming and they are taking shelter in Saudi Arabia, so USA decided now to make the understand to Iraq so that he could stop the war and he should stop the attack upon the Kuwait, and so that the situation could become normal.